Domäne Wachau is actually pretty unique worldwide. We are organized as a cooperative, but nowhere else you find a cooperative working on such a high quality level in such a complex terroir, because we have different altitudes, expositions, inclinations of the hillsides, eastern Wachau, western Wachau, right bank, left bank. Everything that we find here in the glass, in the bottle, comes from the vineyard, comes from the very artisanal work done by our growers, our vignerons, each of them being responsible for only a very, very small plot. And that way we are extremely detailed in the vineyard, very, very focused and also very agile and flexible in the vineyard.
Hey, it's Lia. Thank you for having me, Heinz and Roman. I am very happy to be here. The first thing when you come here in the cellar, what are you doing here usually?
Actually, to get the most important tool we have, actually go for a glass and taste some barrels and some tanks.
That sounds great. Roman, what do you think? How can you describe the precision in Domäne Wachau? What are your rules?
You mean the style of our wine?
Yeah, and maybe little secrets.
Well, there are no real secrets because it's, well, right now we're in the cellar, but everything we do is actually outside in the vineyard. That's where quality is created, where it starts, where it ends. What we do here in the cellar is a little bit noise, but yeah, the goal is to keep up the quality, what we do here, and all the character, the style, the precision of our wines comes from the vineyard.
What do you think? Are there any things which set apart from other wineries in the process in the cellar?
Actually, the thing is with the secrets, Roman told you, maybe the secrets are outside, and I think that's a very important thing. Actually, to learn more and more, to get more experience, you see how the different vintages are, how it's a different weather. We get more extremes, it's changing, and so we are stable there, and also for our wine growers.
So, Roman, can you tell us what's the first thing when you do, when you check, when you taste one of your wines?
Well, first thing, of course, is having a look on the wine, but that doesn't give you that much information. But it's very much about the smell, and what we look in our wines for is this very, very clean, pure, transparent aroma with a lot of precision, Grüner Veltliner spice, Riesling fruitiness.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe this wine? What is it?
Well, it smells very fresh. It's 23 Grüner Veltliner, and I have a bit of this, little bit of tobacco, a very, very clean and pure spice aroma, a bit of ginger, but a very, very, very authentic Grüner Veltliner smell. Yeah, kind of this wet stone character, stony character. Tastes very nice.
Very nice and very tasty. Refreshing.
Refreshing. Very, very important. This is the ripe acidity. So you always look for a good ripe acidity, high acidity, firm acidity. But it's not that it's harsh or edgy. It should be well integrated, but it gives the wine a good length and refreshing aftertaste.
What's your opinion?
That was a great description from Roman. Actually, I like it because this Grüner Veltliner makes almost a little bit thirsty. Mm-hmm. I like the acidity. I like a little bit tannins, soft tannins. It's good structured and quite good terroir-driven. Mm-hmm. From the Loebenberg, it's closed where we are sitting right now.
I think it's a perfect Austrian wine. It's a good sample.
It's a perfect Austrian wine. It's a perfect Wachau wine. I think it's a very, very good expression of this modern style. Not heavy at all, very, very elegant, finesse-driven, kind of laid-back drinkability, but also with a very, very strong character.
So, what about the next wine?
Let's taste the Grüner Veltliner Smaragd Kellerberg. One of our top wines, Smaragd style, sort of even better vineyard, higher altitudes, and it's the vineyard just behind our winery, behind the estate. So kind of our home turf. And comparing the two wines, Federspiel Smaragd, of course, here in this wine we will have more structure, more depth, and more concentration, but also balanced out with a very, very refreshing acidity.
Heinz, can I ask you a difficult question? Can you please describe Domäne Wachau wines only in 3 words?
Good thing actually will say puristic, finesse wines, and a lot of minerality. Actually, this is given by the nature. This is given by a perfect vineyards, by the terraced vineyards, by the people who work really hard outside, and we are also big fans of sustainable and organic farming. Actually, it's a bit later harvested, like the Leubenberg we had before, so it's more structured, it's a bit more complexity, and maybe it's a bit more tobacco aromas, less variety character, less Grüner Veltliner character, but still this lovely balance, but still refreshing acidity in the finish, and actually it's always great aging potential.
Yeah, I like the acidity and the creaminess, and this very round taste.
Yeah, it's much rounder mouthfeel. There's more texture, more intensity, more extract. It's definitely the higher quality wine. But both wines have its authenticity. Both wines have its right time and place. I think the Grüner Veltliner Leubenberg is already very, very nice drinking now, and the Kellerberg is just the starting point of its development. So actually it's too young, but even now it's already very, very charming.
Actually, it is the cool thing of the Wachau Valley to have this diversity between the different wines, and I like to enjoy always a lot of different wines, not the same, and these wines are pointing it really strongly out from this great single vineyards.
And what about the third wine? And can you please tell us, our viewers, what the main difference between these 3 wines?
The first wine that we have tasted is this kind of drinking now, very refreshing, elegant expression of Grüner Veltliner. Second one, the Grüner Veltliner Smaragd style, compact Grüner Veltliner. I think this is a wine that can challenge white Burgundy, because with a few years of age it picks up this biscuity, nutty aromas. Yeah, and then we have the Riesling Smaragd Achleiten, again a very different wine. Riesling, our second most important grape variety here in the Wachau, with high acidity, but with a very, very pure and aromatic expression. More flowery, hint of apricot aromas, but very typically also this kind of smoky, flinty expression that you find so often in the Achleiten vineyard.
It has definitely some flowers in it.
I love this wine. Achleiten is always one of my favorite vineyards. What we have here. Actually, I'm born here, and I had always a look directly to the Achleiten when I was a young boy, and maybe this gave me so much impression, so much love to it. But yeah, this is actually the wine with the most minerality. It's so driven by the soil and the complexity again and big concentration, but still very drink friendly. Actually, for me, it makes you a little bit thirsty, and this is always good.
Yeah, three very, very nice examples of what we do here in Wachau. And as mentioned before, everything that we find here in the glass, in the bottle, comes from the vineyard, comes from the very artisanal work done by our growers, our vignerons, each of them being responsible for only a very, very small plot. And that way we are extremely detailed in the vineyard, very, very focused and also very agile and flexible in the vineyard, because of the idea of a cooperative, that our vignerons and growers are the persons, the people who care about the vineyard, who work in the vineyard all year long and have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge how to work the vineyard.
It's wonderful that you have a huge team in the vineyard, and I think it's very unique.
Yeah.
Actually, good team, great people with a lot of love. They love to go out in the vineyards. It's quite relaxing. You can't imagine when you're upwards in the Kellerberg, in the Achleiten, the Lohenberg, and have a view to the Danube during working, but it's cool.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed all of them. They are very clean and beautiful in style, both of them. So thank you. Many people probably don't know why is Domäne Wachau so special and unique in Austria, and I think it's on the whole world, because you work in a cooperative way with many vignerons. So can you tell us about this?
Yeah, as you said, Domäne Wachau is actually pretty unique worldwide. We are organized as a cooperative, but nowhere else you find a cooperative working on such a high quality level in such a complex terroir, because we have different altitudes, expositions, inclinations of the hillsides, eastern Wachau, western Wachau, right bank, left bank. And our vineyard ownership is highly fragmented, so each of our vignerons, of our grower, works on average only on 1 or 2 hectares. So that allows us to be very, very focused, detailed in the vineyard, very agile, very flexible, very quick when it comes to weather changes. And with our growers, our vignerons, I think we have the most skilled, experienced vineyard workers that you can imagine, because they have been working for years, for decades, for generations in their vineyard. And no one knows the terroir better than them.
That sounds great, and I think it's a fantastic thing that you can work together in such a high quality way.
Yeah, it's always the vigneron, the grower, who works in the vineyard. So we don't have people from outside working in the vineyard. We don't need people temporarily, not even pickers, because then it's the grower with his family or with friends and relatives. So it's also a very, very social, ethical, sustainable work.
Yeah, because I know similar cooperatives from the world, but they are usually low quality, and they don't use so they usually work by machines, they harvest by tractors, and so it's completely different way.
Yeah, it's a very, very hand-worked approach here, very artisanal, very traditional, with a very, very low level of mechanization. Everything is hand-picked, and also during harvest picking season, all the selection is done in the vineyard by very, very experienced pickers.
That's great. I want to challenge Heinz another time. So why is this region special for you personally, and in a point of view of a winemaker?
Actually, there are no words needed. Have a look around. Look this beautiful landscape. Look this diverse landscape, and this is really unique in the world. We have this great biodiversity. We have the vineyards. We have these special areas. We have the terraced vineyards, the stone walls, and of course the vignerons, the wine growers are very important here to keep, to save this diversity, to improve it actually. And yeah, time is changing, and we have to do more and more. We're working with our own cover crop to bring more diversity inside, different flowers, to make everything a bit more colorful. We're working sustainable, of course. We're using no herbicides. We're doing our own compost. We're working still on new projects, but you can't find not really ideas at university, so we have to do it by ourselves. We're looking for a cover crop below the wines, and of course, one of my big heart belongs to the organic farming. In the end of the day, we need strong wines which have less troubles with the climate change, with the extreme situations, and you can imagine that it's here even more important. We have much more work, a lot of handwork. We have this poor stony soils, and actually you can do here great wines on this wonderful terroir. But when you're doing some mistakes, when you're not flexible enough, you're doing a normal wine, you're doing a bad wine. And so we need much more input, much more brain. And this is the lucky thing that we are so small structures, so it means we have a lot of brain per hectare because we are so small with the wine growers. And it's a fantastic region.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, and with the Danube, it's picture perfect. And Domäne Wachau is known for its beautiful style and elegance. During your work, during your journey, what are you the most proud of?
I think there are thousands of little things that we can be proud of. Our most important asset are our growers, our vignerons. Their skill, their experience, their work. But what I had to accept to myself is that's a very long journey. So I've been here with Heinz for 20 years. And it's just half time, so there will be another 20 years. And I think that's very important. Wine is nothing that you can solve or that you make in quick time. It always takes time. You have to be patient, and also what we do here, it's a work for generations.
You are working on a very long project.
Oh, yes.
And Heinz, what about you? What are you the most proud of?
Actually, it's a long work, it's a hard work, and we get a lot of responsibility. And this is the cool thing, I think, to take care of the landscape, to take care of the people here, not just for us, not just for the wine growers, always also for the visitors, because it's a cool region here, and to keep it, to save it for the next generations, for the children. And the cool thing is, when you see the new generations, the youngsters, they still like to work in the vineyards, still with this hard work, not sitting on this new modern tractors, no, doing everything by hand. And in the end of the day, for me, finally, to enjoy these great wines. And so you're on the right way and you did a good job.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Roman.
It's a pleasure to have you here and to showing you around a little bit.
Thank you guys, and see you next time.